UPND Vice President and Presidential Running Mate, Madam Hakainde Hichilema. We have the ADD President and Chairman of the UPND Alliance, Honorable Milupi. We have President Simuyemba. We have President Chikuse. We have the Secretary General for the UPND, Secretary General Imenda, the Secretary General for the MDC, Secretary General Murusa, Chairman for Legal in the UPND, Honorable Jack Mwimbu, Senior Advisor to President Hakainde Hichilema, Mr. Douglas Yakalima, and the Lusaka Province Provincial Chairperson for the UPND. For the UPND, Mr. Mwalipe. I deliberately did not introduce my president because he is the host president, and now I want to take the opportunity to ask him to stand and welcome us all to his home. Mr. President, sir.
Good afternoon. Colleagues, Alliance partners, I think the introductions have been done. Members of the press and all those that are present this morning. Today we have sunshine, it's bright. But on the real side, it's the darkest day in the democratic process of our dear country called Zambia. A day when democracy is being fragmented, distracted by desperate actions, unacceptable actions. We were scheduled to have a regular press conference this morning, but that has been overtaken by the real events that have taken place in Chimbola this morning. And colleagues, we have here the running mate who is going to render a few words. My role was simply to welcome you, Alliance partners, to the MDC Secretariat. And even before she comes and says a few words, can I request all of you to just stand up for just 1 minute? Thank you, colleagues. We are standing up for democracy. Let me call upon the running mate, Madam Hakainde Hichilema, to say a few words, and then the master of ceremony will take the processes from there. I thank you.
Thank you, master of ceremony, the chairman of the UPND Alliance and the Zambia, we won. Thank you, President, for MDC for welcoming us here. And very important words are taken. And the fact that we have observed a moment of silence, basically, because somebody is trying to kill our democracy. I agree with MDC President. Today is a very, very tough day for our nation, for Zambia. We are aware, Zambians, the chairman, are aware that the Patriot Front is extremely desperate, very desperate, because they know that Zambians have declared that their time is over. It doesn't matter how many tricks they want to play, and we are aware, Chair, that they are doing everything possible to try and either stop the elections or rig. Zambians will guard their vote. Each Zambian will guard their own vote. And I would just like to say, Chair, that we refuse to allow President Edgar Lungu to do a coup on our constitution, Mr. President. There is totally no reason for what is going on. We therefore condemn in no uncertain terms the behavior, not the actual act today that has happened, that has brought us here now, but generally for this president to choose to stand against the provisions of the Constitution, which is sworn to protect. This is campaign period, and all of us are supposed to be campaigning. Campaigning freely and campaigning responsibly. But Chair, this man, Presidency Chagwa Lungu, wants to make COVID a weapon, because they have no reason whatsoever to try and stop the campaign. Because this is what they have tried, to stop us from campaigning, no rallies. I will repeat this, where a president announces no rallies at his own rally. That's what he did. He was addressing masses and he says no rallies. Why? Because he has no following, he has no people interested in his rallies. And worse still, we are being stopped to move on the roads. My chairman will go through the details. How do you stop people from moving on the road? Would we know who wants to look at Hakainde and just listen? We will not. Before even my chair comes, I want to state it here, that we refuse, we stand on the side of the Constitution. Not Lungu, not Kaganja. We will kill the spirit of the Zambians and the fact that the Constitution allows us. We will stand on the side of the Constitution. We choose standing here with colleagues, with all Zambians, to defy anybody who gives unconstitutional instructions, because that is not correct. It is a very, very annoying thing. But I'll leave it to the president to give a bit more detail of what has happened and exactly how we choose to stand. But be sure we are Zambians. Be sure we will stand together with all of you Zambians. We will stand together. Nobody will mutilate. Nobody, for their selfish reasons, will destroy our democracy. We are democrats, and we will do right within the confines of the law. There is nothing whatsoever in Zambia that is happening that can make a person just single-handedly say there is no constitution. So who are we? Are we not a constitutional democracy? If there is no constitution, then what is he standing up himself? What is giving him the power and the mandate? Is it not a constitution? Since when? Zambians, tuilalala. Umuntu abuka, alayita ati ni president. Jatiyo, insambuna kwatesha kusaina SI, a statutory instrument to suspend things. Every statutory instrument cannot work against the law that created it. That is the principle of a statutory instrument. You can't use a statutory instrument that is against the Constitution. Not even a piece of legislation from which it was formed. So where is the authority? We stand on the authority of the Constitution. And therefore we are going to campaign. We are going to go on the street. Come here. Bakanganja Mtuikate. Come. 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 You are just a man who is in that office to work for the Zambians, not to come and intimidate Zambians. not to come and destroy our country. We are a peaceful people, and peacefully we will go on. I call on you Zambians to stand and defend the Constitution, because that's what you are called to do. Anybody who stands against the Constitution is the enemy of the people, is your enemy. We are not breaching the provisions of the Constitution. Mr. Chairman, it is so emotive that we are going through this. I will not talk about the actual issues for today. I will leave it to you, Mr. Chairman. Please, address the meeting.
Vice President of UPND and UPND Alliance running mate, Mr. Cardinal Mango, Presidents in the UPND Alliance, Mr. Mutati, Felix Mutati, Mr. Leslie Chukuse, Mr. Kaluva Sidiemba, members of UPND, starting with the Secretary General, and members of the various NMCs who are here with us. Today is a sad day. But before I go into details, before I address this press conference, let me provide this nation, Zambian nation, with what has happened yesterday, culminating with what has happened this morning. The UPND Alliance presidential candidate, President HH or Hakainde Hichilema, as we all know, is on the Copperbelt, carrying out various road shows. But throughout whatever he's doing, there have been impediments put on his way by none other than the state through Zambia police. Yesterday, he was undertaking various road shows in the city of Ndola. And we saw how successful those road shows were. When they had finished, it was late afternoon, they left Ndola to go into Kitwe on their way to Angola. At a township, just as you enter Kitwe, after the Luangwa River, after the Kafue River, at Luangwa Township, on the right is Mulenga Township. Over there, Zambia police had mounted a roadblock in an attempt to stop him from proceeding into Kitwe. After various discussions, the police became rowdy and tear gas was discharged. That's the report that we have. But after that, they proceeded to Chingola. In Chingola this morning, their program, before they started their road shows, was to visit two churches. The first one, obviously, today is a Sunday, it's a day of prayer, and Zambia is a Christian country. So they were on their way, they started from about 8:30, they were on their way to Chiwempala, UCZ, for the normal prayers. And on their way, they were stopped by Zambia police again, basically to stop them proceeding to go to church. Discussions were held, and after some time, I think one of the police officers said they could go ahead. When that happened, this is on a dual carriageway, so many dual carriageways. in this country. The rest of Zambia police with their vehicles got onto the other lane from the oncoming traffic, and then they went in front of President Hakainde's entourage. So at this stage, when tear gas was discharged, more than that, live bullets were discharged, rubber bullets were discharged, including one, whether it is a live bullet or rubber bullet, is material that was aimed at where President Hakainde Hichilema was sat. Some of you have seen on social media, you have seen that on that side, that is where President Hakainde Hichilema was sitting, where you have that bruise, that graze. At this stage, the delegation had to climb the cave and return back to the lodge from whence they had come. As of now, first of all, it was reported to us that this was now surrounded by the police, Zambia police. This is what has taken place this morning. President Edgar Lungu, without really, in my view, scientific evidence, medical evidence, took it upon himself to ban public rallies. We in the UPND Alliance were very clear. There is a way to have these meetings, also at the same time adhering to the health protocols that are put in place to fight COVID. Nevertheless, having done that, and this is a campaign period, it was said that we should go door to door, we should be able to address people using other means. What President Hakainde Hichilema and his inquiry, which includes other presidents in the UPND Alliance, like NF Mansa, it is part of that door-to-door campaign. It is part of the road shows where you don't stop and have rallies and so on. We wonder why or how President Edgar Lungu can now order the police. I say he is the one who has ordered the police, because Stephen Kampiongo is no longer a minister. He no longer orders the police. So any action that is taken by the police is a direct order by Edgar Lungu. This must be made very, very clear. He is the only politician, together with his vice president, who holds office on account of what the Constitution says. So I must make it very clear that any action that is taken by the police is as a result of what Mr. Lungu has directed them to do, and the instructions carried by Inspector General Kakoma Kangachi. This is contrary to what is expected. I now appeal to the Zambian people. The democracy that we fought for in 1991, that we achieved in 1991, the Zambian people understand what that democracy is all about. And that is why when in 2001, President Chiluba wanted a third term, the Zambian people said no. That democracy allowed multi-party activity, allowed those that seek office to be able to do so, in order that we may have peaceful campaigns, peaceful elections, and a peaceful transitions of government. We had that in 1991, we had that in 2001, and ever since we have been having peaceful transitions of government. Our assessment as UPND Alliance is the Zambians have made up their minds that in 2021, specifically on 12th August, there will be a peaceful transition of government from the PF as a party and Mr. Lungu as the president to the UPND Alliance and Mr. Hakainde Hichilema as the president, together with his running mate who become vice president. What happened yesterday, let me make it very, very clear. When you discharge a bullet towards somebody, it's clearly an assassination attempt. And let me make it very clear. For years now, the PF government and Mr. Lungu have been playing Mr. Hakainde Hichilema like a toy. They've been doing to him whatever they want, call him to police stations, detain him, make him sleep in field cells, and so on. And maybe because of what we, the Zambian people, the way we have reacted, it seems to have sent a message that they can continue to do with it whatever they want. But today I give this warning, and I give it very seriously. Any harm that happens to Hakainde Hichilema, whilst he's president of the UPND Alliance, whilst he's a candidate, the reaction of the Zambian people will not be docility. If you want to set this nation on fire, continue seeking to cause harm to President Hakainde Hichilema. We in the Alliance, UPND Alliance, will not tolerate it. And the Zambian people will not tolerate it. Very soon, we shall be reacting in a manner that you are pushing us to react. And it will not be docility. We cannot have an innocent citizen of this country whose only fault, if it is a fault, is seeking to rebuild this nation, to reconstruct this nation, to unite this nation. As is clearly his message. Today, as we speak to you now, he is cooped up in a lodge with the same Zambian police ordered by Lungu and Kanganja to surround him, as if he's not a citizen. We are not going to allow that, and we want this spirit of activism now to not only remain with one person, HH. It must permeate all levels, all the parties within the alliance, all the members, and indeed all the citizens. The democracy that we fought for was not for Hakainde alone, it was for all the Zambians. So Zambia police stations, wherever they are in the country, they must be engaged. Their role is purely neutral in this election, to ensure that everybody can move freely. If they're asking for door-to-door, we are the ones in the UPND Alliance who are being accepted at these doors. The PF are not being accepted at these doors. We see the pictures, we see what's going on in this country. You have asked for door-to-door, we are going door-to-door. We are being received with open arms. You are stood on vehicles throwing money around, causing danger to those who are scrambling for this money. What a party, what a shame. But not only that, we call upon other organizations in this country to recognize, number one, to recognize what is happening in this country. When you seek to circumvent the democratic process in a constitutional democracy like we have in Zambia, it is essentially an attempted coup d'etat. That is what is happening. So, the civil society organizations, the Law Association of Zambia, the Human Rights Commission, and the church mother bodies. Now is your time to have your voice to count. In 1991, referring specifically to the church mother bodies, when there was a crisis, a democratic crisis in this country, or governance crisis in this country, you rose up and you took the mantle. You brought everybody together, and it was through that process that we had a peaceful election, we had a peaceful transition from the unit government to the MMD government. The crisis being generated by PF and Mr. Lungu today is worse than that which prevailed in 1991. There were no opposition leaders being shot at. Today we are seeing it. Today we have witnessed it. We ask that again, you rise to this occasion and bring people together. We in the UPND Alliance, especially Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, have said, and we are saying it again today, we are open to dialogue that will ensure that we have a peaceful election campaign, we have a peaceful election itself, and beyond that, we have a peaceful transition from this government, PF government, to the UPND Alliance government. And we say to those that cooperate with us, or to those organizations in the world that Zambia are members of, like SADC, the African Union or AU, the United Nations, the Commonwealth, look upon Zambia, see what is going on. This hijacking of democracy, all of you, these bodies that I have talked about here, you should be proud to receive those that will win in the August elections. But you can only do that if we have free and fair elections that are transparent, not what we are seeing in this country. I go back again to the Electoral Commission of Zambia. You are mandated by law to run elections. So far in this election, you are failing. You seem to be undertaking the wishes or providing for the wishes of one of the competitors here. This ban on campaigns, it didn't come from you. We know that when President Lungu was launching his campaign, that's when he pronounced that as a candidate. Maybe then you realize that he has no power to do that because he's a player in a game where he's seeking to be a referee. A few days later, you yourself, CCZ, you come and say, yes, there will be no campaign. We see what you're going, what you are doing. So far, what we have seen in this campaign, you have relegated your duties of running this campaign to Zambia police. You seem to be listening to what Zambia police are telling you to do. Exactly. But what we know in this history, during an election campaign period, you have total charge of what is going on. You have powers to disqualify those that are breaking the law. In the past, one of the elections, the then chairman of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, when we had people with spying, even stopped Zambia police officers from going to either campaign meetings or to polling stations with weapons, with guns. You only allowed them to carry batons and the tear gas. It's a history we have. But some of us are old enough recall these facts. And anything Kanganja says, that becomes the law. And by the way, there is no parliament, so there can be no new law on anything in this country. So we are saying to the Electoral Commission of Zambia, exercise your duties as enshrined in the Constitution and the laws of this country. Number one responsibility is to provide an even playing field. Quite clearly what's happening in this campaign is not an even playing field, where our candidate, who happens to be the most popular candidate, is now being shot at, and you are quiet. The warning to people like Mr. Kanganja and the Zambia police, you will be made to account for your actions right now. Time will come when the Zambian people will ask you why you are doing what you are doing. There can be nothing without an end. The PF government is going to come to an end. And we think it is August 12th. Those that are carrying out wrong action to try to delay this or to steal this, they will be made to account. The rest of the security forces, whether it's Zambia Army, Zambia Air Force, Zambia National Service, even the correctional services, your constitutional duty is to preserve and protect the Constitution, protect the citizens of this country, and protect this nation. We ask that you play this role fairly. The President of Zambia has said that you should not be partisan. Yes, you should not be partisan, but play your role of protecting all of us. Create an environment where the Zambian citizens will be able to cast their votes freely, they will be counted, and the genuine winner will be able to be sworn in. We understand what is going on. When PF talk about these 2 million votes that we already have, we know what is behind that. Another press conference, we shall talk about that 2 million votes and the systems they're trying to use to ensure that that 2 million votes is on their side. We are fully aware. We say to civil servants, and again, because there are some of those change, but they're so desperate, they want to frighten people off, either on tribal lines, or even civil servants. Oh no, they will come and fire you. President Hakainde has made it very, very clear that one of our top priorities in this country, when we take over power, is to fight unemployment, to create more employment. Would we be so stupid to have this uppermost in our minds that we're going to create employment and yet fire people when we take over power? There will be more people employed. That's what we are going to do. At no meeting, whether it is within UPND or in the UPND Alliance with partners, has the subject of laying off anybody ever been discussed. So anyone who is saying this is just trying to frighten people so that maybe they can continue to hang on to power. As our Vice President and running mate has said, nothing scares us. Do anything that you want to do. He has already called on Kanganja to come and arrest us if he wants. We are going to continue with the campaign within the law. We are going to continue door to door. We are going to continue with the road shows. In fact, the more you do this, today you have stopped Hakainde Hichilema. Tomorrow there will be Mutati on the road, there will be Milupi on the road, there will be the Vice President on the road, there will be Simiemba on the road, there will be various Chikusopi on the road. If that is your attitude, prepare even more cells. to lock us all up. Our mission to liberate this country from the tyranny of the PF and the misgovernance is unstoppable. So whatever you do, in fact, from what I see, if I was PF, I would actually say, look, you are even hating us more. The more you do this to Hakainde Hichilema, the more popular it becomes. That's what we have seen. So those are the few words that I had for yourself. But we shall be meeting very, very shortly, maybe tomorrow or the day after, with the Electoral Commission of Zambia. So again, we can ram into them the full responsibility. They have the power to even stop the police from harassing candidates. They're not doing that. What are they there for? So with those, thank you very much. Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson. We are now open for any questions and answers, points of clarification. If you have any, please state which media house you are coming from and your name. Do we have any questions? Yes? Okay, yes?
I just want to find out if you have also taken a step. What time?
You're finding out from where, sir?
This is part of Soko from committee. I want to find out from stakeholders in France if at all you have taken a step to even report this assassination attempt by the same police.
Third one? Yes, sir? Asking if you have reported to the police for the police trying to shoot you. Yes, yes.
Yeah, my name is Mangaila. I write for Zambia 24. Not long time ago, but prior to 2016 election, there was a complaint that the Electoral Act was changed. And one of the changes that was made in that act, they transformed the ECZ as part of government work machinery. And whatever the ECZ were done were quoted by the Attorney General. And that the ECZ cannot be sold for its own liabilities. And this is what is happening now. Now, in order to resolve that particular problem, what are you doing as the alliance partner? Because for as long as the status quo remains, then you'll be dealing with the government. And the government cannot do certain things to disadvantage themselves.
Thank you. Take three at a time. The chairman will address the concern.
So, President Muyemba will take the last one from deals with the change of the law. He's very active in the courts, you know. So he knows what he's talking about. I'll speak to the point raised by Kamala. Yes, we're engaging. In fact, we continuously engage with the ECZ. As late as last Monday, we delivered a letter. When the pronouncement on this banning of the rally, because Mr. Lungu has no power to ban anything to do with the election. He is a player in a field. He cannot assign himself a role of a referee. So we wrote a letter seeking a meeting. With us, he was urgent enough to meet that same day. President Kusa, our president here, is the one who physically delivered that. They said they're going to meet us. So with this, We shall meet them. Tomorrow we shall engage with them. Take a meeting so that we, the president who are here, together with our running mates, will be able to have a meeting with them for this particular. Because this thing is getting worse. Before you know it, somebody will be dead. Then what? That's when we shall cry and say, oh, we didn't know what happened. We know where this thing is leading. Mr. Lungu is so desperate to hang on to power that they will do anything. Wherever they go, the masses are not listening. We are seeing pictures of Wapua, we are seeing pictures of all the employees. They are so-called strong. We are seeing pictures of the Copperbelt. To us, that's the natural way that democracy. Because you get judged on your performance. Does that mean people are judging PF on their performance? It has not been good. And we understand the desperation. Maybe I can clear it now. The desperation of what we are doing now. To get on these 2 million votes and whatever they are doing, we know the various camps that are set with, even the nationals that have come to help them. We know where they're coming from. It's because they have seen what's happening on the ground. The ground has shifted. They are afraid that they will spend time in prison after August 12. Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, when he becomes president, there will be so many things to be done in this country to put it right, together with his team. That for him now to spend time and say, go in the pick that one up, lock him up because maybe he sent me to Mukoveko and so on. That is not part of his agenda. We are not seeking this power so we can come and lock up people. What we shall do, nevertheless, is to free the institutions that deal with these matters. There will be professionalism in the institutions. So if one has committed a crime, those institutions on their own, they will follow that particular person. But there will be no politician directing them. Go and pick Mr. Lungu, go and pick this one, so on and so forth. Again, if there is anyone in PF or in government or anything who has not committed a crime, you have absolutely nothing to fear. Nothing. You are a citizen of this country. We have even said that even the PF as a party, we shall give you more freedom to campaign, to interact with the people more than you have given us. We are Democrats. We want professionalism. We want to move this country forward. So nobody should say, oh no, let me cheat so that they don't come and arrest you. We don't want to arrest you. If you have committed a crime, you will answer for that through the institutions that are mandated by law to do with those matters, not a politician. The other matter that dealt with, yeah, have we reported this attack to the police? Yeah. Now, the police, someone goes to break, let's say maybe I've got policemen here, then someone comes to pick me up. Then you say, I've reported to the police. The police are aware of what has happened. Because they're the ones who did it. These pictures we show of a bullet where HH is sitting. What does it mean? So we go back to them and say, by the way, you shot that, so we are reporting you. Anyway, that is up to our legal minds. They're here. Mr. Jack Mungu is here, who is chairman of the legal committee of UPND. They're the ones who are going to look at that. But what we are saying is, don't harm Hakainde under any circumstances. That will spark this country off. That I can assure you.
Vice President, my fellow colleagues, that question is very, very important because we've listened to stories and rumors that there's been vote rigging in the past. For 57 years, we haven't had a clear explanation as to how vote rigging has been taking place. We did an investigation and forensic examination of the statutes and the procedures of how elections are conducted in this country, starting with interest from 2006 up to now. To be specific, we actually took out a matter last year in the Concord to actually review the regulations, because we believe strongly as a UPND Alliance in the rule of law. We didn't want to be talking anywhere because we knew the kind of regime we are dealing with and how repressive it is. So we went to court to go and interrogate the statutes as they are. What has come out is that when we filed, that was in April, we filed, and then ECZ had to file a preliminary issue, which was saying that there is no cause of action. We went through 7 legal firms to ask if there was indeed no cause of action. Those who are privy to this, it's just the reason why you are in court. What are you seeking from court? On Friday, we are treated to another shocker from the Concord, that our petition cannot be entertained, and therefore ECZ's application is sustained. However, something happened which is very important for you, the media, to actually record and put it to the populace in this country. This is on 12th May, whilst we are active in the Concord, Nshindano and Chulu, and one of the two, either the Attorney General or the Solicitor General, actually connived to go and push and author what you are calling regulations. This we made aware of the court. And the court, we did not stop at that. We actually cited Nshindano for contempt of court. This matter is active as from Friday. We went to see how these guys and their cohorts are going to react to that. In furtherance to that, we are considering options as from tomorrow as to how we can go ahead and either escalate this argument to be heard by a full bench of the Concord. Please take interest in what we actually put in the Concord. It is actually at the center of electoral rigging. There is an inbuilt system that has been put in the statutes from 2006, and we would like to interrogate that in detail with you cooperating journalists and cooperating partners, so that you see that there are actually no elections, they are fixed elections. And we will stand on that, and we are going to review and expose what has been happening with full detail of the statutes. I thank you very much.
Thank you. Take another set of 3. That's 1, 2. Okay, 2.
My name is Augustine from Hotefin. I just wanted to find out from the chairperson of the Alliance. You have described the attacks on Mr. Hichilema as an assassination attempt. Would you consider reporting this matter to international bodies such as the Commonwealth, like it happened last time where they had to come in to intervene, and maybe SADC?
Emmanuel Mulakwa Sharp is my name, representing CBC Television. My question goes to the chairperson. Now that it has come in open, when you have learned that PF shall not allow you to conduct public rallies, what do you think we're going to do about it? Because counting from 13th May to date, I think we have remained with very few days, if not 64 days or so. When are you going to stabilize the situation in this country as a main opposition party?
Yes, we had me, Hot FM. I mentioned these international bodies. The United Nations, for example, this last week, we had an audience with President H.H., Community House. They discussed a number of issues. And they were surprised to hear about the restrictions that were being put on us. have heard me talk about the Commonwealth, SADC, and so on. The primary responsibility to fight this lies with us, Zambian people. However, these are bodies that we are either members of, like Commonwealth, United Nations, AU, SADC, or the others, cooperative partners who fund us. Even this election is being funded by United Nations, EU, United States of America. So we shall engage with them. This decision we already made. We're going to meet with them. You're putting money into this. Use your influence to make sure that you're putting money into a rightful system. I think we're talking about the International Court of Justice or ICC, those bodies. Again, that's a matter because this thing has just happened. It's an assassination attempt. Our legal teams will very quickly look at that and provide a way forward. Mr.
Shapi.
Yeah, what was your...
The question is on the, looking at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yes. You see, God, I think at some press conference, maybe when we were welcoming our alliance partners, I did relate a story of delay me not, for the Lord has prospered my way. I won't go into details. I think that time I did. That's exactly what has happened. Mr. Lungu, delay us not. The Lord has prospered our way in terms of taking over this country. Whether he wants to stop rallies or whatever he wants to do, we have seen Hakainde just going into Kanyama. The people coming out, they just want to see him. Maybe not even hear him, they just want to see him. That is sending a very strong message. He goes into Ndola. You saw that. Why are they stopping from going to church? Because people want to see him. People want to hear our message. And on the other hand, even Lusambo is complaining. You have heard on social media, no, because money is short. UPND Alliance has no money. You have not seen any member of the UPND Alliance dish money out. No. You have not seen any of us or our cadres on mattresses full of 100 kwacha bundles. No. We haven't got that money. But them who have that money, they are saying it's not enough. The Zambian people have made their mind. The biggest rally, they will not be able to stop, will be on the 12th of August. And we are calling on all Zambians that require this positive change on that day. Each laka which you have now for rallies, which Mr. Lungu has stopped, have that pent-up feeling unleashed on 12th of August by going. We want to term that as a rally. At every polling station to be a rally. We want turnout to be very high. We want you to remain there until after the election is complete and the counting, signing for has been done. So, if they're stopping you from listening to us on a rally, 10, 12 August into a rally in your separate polling station. Let's see what will happen. But our view, what we are seeing on the ground, we will not be able to stop that. People, they will not be able to stop us going door to door as they want us to do, because the people are accepting us. They are not accepting them. Throughout the country. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the close of our function today. I want to take the opportunity to thank you for having come out and so sure that you can bear testimony